Hello children, how are you all? I hope you are happy and healthy. Children, as you all know, we have started last chapter of your supplementary reader book, A Pact with the Sun. And this story really interesting, and we have read, and first part of the story, the chapter was also explained, children. And we have discussed question and answer of first part of the story. Now we are moving forward in this story, that is the second part of the story we are going to start today, children. So, before going to start reading of this story, second part of the story, I would like to give 3 points which is given in your book also. Vijay Singh demonstrated his strength by crushing what the ghost thought was a piece of rock. Now, second point, the ghost avoided a wrestling bout with Vijay Singh but decided to conquer him through cheating. Now, third point, he invited Vijay Singh to be his guest for the night. Now, children, in this part of the story, we are going to discuss 3 points over here. So now, their battle is going to start. And as you all know, Vijay Singh was a really great wrestler and he was full of courage. That time he just little bit he just scared about that ghost, because after all it was a ghost and he was just afraid of them, but he never and ever show his cowardness or his fear. So he just showed his attitude towards that ghost with a very good bravery and courage. So children, here Vijay Singh picked up a piece of rock from the sand. Now here you can see he started showing or demonstrating his power or might to that ghost. Okay, so as we have discussed that he just wanted the permission through the ghost that can I demonstrate my might and power and strength. So the ghost was not very well agreed about that, but still the Vijay Singh started his demonstration. Now Vijay Singh picked up a piece of rock from the sand. First thing he had done that just picked one stone from the sand. Take this, he offered it to the ghost. First of all, because he knew that Vijay Singh knew better that his opponent or combatant was not a man, not a human being, a ghost. That is why he wanted to insult. So that is the point or trick of the Vijay Singh. He was taken this stone from the sand and gave it to the ghost, and he said, take this. He offered it to the ghost and squeeze it hard. It is filled with fluid. See if I am wrong. So here he played a trick. Vijay Singh played a trick and he just offered one stone from the sand and gave in his hand of the ghost and said that please try it because it is full of fluid. It is full of liquid, or you can say full of sand, or you can say it's a very small thing for him. So please do it, he said. See and crush it. If you find it is correct, so you give me a one chance. If you don't find these type of the whatever I told you, that if it is not correct, you just punish me. So these type of the thing he said. While the ghost tried to squeeze the rock first with one hand and with both, Vijay Singh stealingly took out the egg from his pocket. Now here, while that ghost was squeezing that stone, so that time the time was there because he was trying to squeeze that stone from one hand to another hand. So here you can see, then very cunningly he just took out that an egg which was given by an old woman that day. So he just took out that egg. Vijay Singh snatched a rock from the ghost and placed in between both hands and squeezed. Now here, in between, what he did, that he just snatched that stone from the hand of the ghost, and he just started squeezing that stone. It was not a stone, actually it was an egg. Now, at once the yellow yolk oozed from around his fingers. At once what happened? This egg squeezed. When it was squeezed, so the yellow yolk came out from that egg. So, and the crackling of the eggshell created the illusion of the stone being crushed. Because the shell is a little tough than the inner part of the egg, so that is why the cracking sound of the shell was elude that person, the ghost, because he thought that he just cracking the stone. So that was really amazing thing for the ghost. Now, the ghost was so astonished, he did not notice Vijay Singh's bending to clean his hands with sand and depositing of the telltale shell. Now here, again, because it was night, it was dark over there, so that is why the ghost was not noticed that. And might be he was not aware about that. So that night he just done very cleverly, Vijay Singh just rub his hand with the sand and he just hide that shell into the sand. So it was finished, that first round was finished. Now, Vijay Singh bending to clean his hands with the sands and depositing the telltale shell inside that. Vijay Singh then picked up another piece of rock, gave it to the ghost, and then again he picked up another piece of rock. Because that first round was over, both combatant was very clever, and here you can see this ghost is not as clever as the Vijay Singh. So now Vijay Singh again came forward to fight with that, or you can fight or you just give a competition to that ghost to give another rock in his hand. And Vijay Singh put his hand into his pocket to take out the lump of salt. And while he is giving that piece of rock in hand of the ghost, and he just took out a lump of salt from his hand. This is only a stone, protested the ghost, and anyway it took too dark to see. So now here ghost said that is this rock? I am just confused because it is so dark, so I can't be able to see whether it is a stone, a rock, or anything else. Never heard of ghost who can't see in the dark. So again he got a new point. He said, oh, this is a new point for me, and this is a very new thing for me. I am so amazed to see that a ghost cannot see in the dark because they are the creature from in the dark. So how they can survive in the dark because they are ghosts? So how it is possible that any ghost cannot see in the dark? So it is also very surprising for me. Remarked Vijay Singh, that a stone which you hold in your hand contains salt. Now here Vijay Singh said that sand lump, the lump of the stone, or you can say the salt, he had given in the hand of that particular ghost. He just said that it was not a rock, it's a lump of salt. So crumble it and see. So you just crumble it, squeeze it and see what will happen. Again the ghost tried to crush the stone. Again he crushed the stone, but in vain. It was really wasting of time because he handed over the stone to Vijay Singh, because he won't be able to crush that stone, because really it was a stone, and he just handed over to the Vijay Singh. And Vijay Singh, the ghost, was now beginning to doubt his ghostly power. Now, after giving back that stone, he was just confused about himself, that whether he is a ghost or not. So these type of the mightiest power of the ghost was vacant over there, and nobody, any ghost, can assume himself that he is more mighty. So here you can see the one person who is coming from nearby, and he is going to tell the ghost that even you do not see in the dark, even you do not crush, you can't be able to crush the stone from your hand. So these are the things that, these are the points which pointed out by the Vijay Singh. So that was really confusing for the ghost. Now here you can see, never heard of a ghost who can't see in the dark. So it was quite amazing, for the surprising for Vijay Singh. Now I can see that you are not going to be a worthy opponent. What's the use of wrestling with the weakling whom I can floor in a minute? So now again a very clever statement stood up over there, that was spoke by the Vijay Singh, that he said that I can't see that you are not going to be worthy opponent. You are not a worthy, you are not capable opponent. You are not a good opponent. So why I have wasted my time to fight with the ghost? So it is useless for me. So my struggle in the dark, so it is in vain, useless. So why I am going to fight with this weak and very meek type of the ghost? It is useless, or whom I can floor in a minute. So I can fell it down in a minute. So it is quite very disturbing for Vijay Singh. So saying, Vijay Singh casually crumbled the lump of the salt and let the stone drop in the darkness. And now here he just transfer it very cleverly, a stone in place of the salt, lump of the salt, and then he just dropped down that stone, and he just crumbled the lump of the salt in his hand, and then he said, he held out his hand and commanded the ghost to taste the powered stone. Now here again he made confusion. That time he just took out his hand and gave to the ghost to taste the crumbled stone's taste. So here, memorized with the Pahalwan's extraordinary strength, mesmerized with the Pahalwan's extraordinary strength, the ghost did as he was told. Now here, he was totally mesmerized. He was fascinated with that person, and he was just staring at that with the surprise that this person, this human being is doing with him. Very simple thing, but I am a ghost. I can't be able to do these things. This is very common for me. So now he was just started obeying Vijay Singh. That was really amusing. So here you can see alarm shot through him. This man could easily vanquish him in a wrestling bout in the dark, but perhaps he could be tricked in other ways. Assuming a servile manner, the ghost said, "Friend Vijay Singh, it is an honor to meet a man like you. I admit to being defeated. But where will you go? Where will you go tonight? Rest in my house. You can leave tomorrow." Now, children, he also played a trick over there. So he said, "Oh my dear friend Vijay Singh, I really felt defeated in front of you. So why you are roaming in the night, lonely, please, please, honor my home and please stay with me in the night. So after seeing this cleverness of Vijay Singh, he was just quite amazed that this person is mightier than me. How it is possible? Because I am the king of this dark, or you can say haunted desert. How a person, a human being became this? And this was quite surprising for him. That is why his clever mind started planning the other thing, and the other thing was dangerous. So here in this next part of the story we will find that we are moving to the next part of the story, and 3 points are given over here. Vijay Singh kept awake at night. He cleverly dubbed the ghost in his own cave. The ghost believed that Vijay Singh was unbeatable. He ran away, leaving all his property, which made Vijay Singh wealthy for life. Now here, children, the next part of the story, with the cleverness, with the wisdom, Vijay Singh won that battle. So now, here in the next part of the story, you can find a new turning point in the story. So children, let's see what is inside the next part of the story. Now children, the ghost fed him dry fruits and a lot of milk. Now the dinner was started because it was night, so dinner was served by ghost. And what was in the dinner? The dinner was full of fruits, dry fruits, and lot of milk. Milk was also there. And later led him a luxurious bed to sleep in. Very comfortable, extremely comfortable bed to sleep. So, complete with pillow and bolsters. Now here you can see, children, that ghost was living in a very, very luxurious cave. That luxurious cave was full of luxury and comfortable. It was so comfortable. So he just served a very delicious dinner that was only and only dry fruits, which is, you can say it is very rich, and milk. And after that, he just wanted that Vijay Singh will be lay down on the very comfortable bed with full of luxury. Now, but Vijay Singh lay awake listening to the snores of the ghost. Now, but Vijay Singh was awaking. That time he just lay awoke listening to the snores of the ghost. In the middle of the night, he slipped off his bed. Now, in the middle of the night, he slipped off the bed. He placed a bolster in the center of the bed. Now here, very cleverly, in the middle of the night, he was just awoke through all the night, and in the middle of the night, he just awoke and he just placed the bolster in place of him. He just created a bed, or you can say the one person is lying over there, just like the scene he was created. He just put the bolster on the bed and he just take over that bed sheets. And after that, throwing over in a coverlet to make it look exactly like a sleeping one. It means when he just put the bolster, he just coverlet that sheets, and it looked like exactly that someone is sleeping. Having done this, he crouched watchfully in a dark corner. Now, after doing this, he just steadily, very cleverly, he was just watching from a corner what was going to happen. So that night, what happened? Sure enough, just before the break of the dawn, the ghost approached the bed arms with a stout club. Now children, here you can see Ghost was not sleeping at all. He was just awaking and near the dawn, when near the, you can say, the morning, the dawn is there. So dawn time, the ghost was approached to that bed with his very stout, means thick, club means stick. And now here I'm going to write over here stick, stout. I am going to write stout, that is thick. Here you can see this is thick or fat. Or fat, you can see thick or fat. Or club, it means club, it means you can say stick. So with the stick, very fat or very healthy stick, very thick type of the stick. Now what happened? Here we can see sure enough, just before the break of the dawn, the ghost approached the bed armed with the stout club. He brought the club down on what he thought was Vijay's head. Now he started beating at the head of the Vijay Singh because he thought that Vijay Singh was lying over there. Not hearing even a groan, he smiled, pleased that he had killed his enemy. Now ghost was also very much full of envies, and he was not a good, because ghost, as you all know, they are called very poisonous human being. Not human being, but you can say they are the spirits which are not good. So here you can see that his planning was to kill that enemy, and he was succeeded because he thought he succeed, because he did not know the cleverness of Vijay Singh. Vijay Singh was not clever only, he was full of wisdom, and he used his mind, he used his presence of mind, and he was so cautious about the action of ghost. Yes, here you can see, children. Now he brought club down on what he thought was Vijay Singh dead, not hearing even a groan. Even he was so much, you can say, confirm that the ghost killed Vijay Singh. And here he was just did not want to listen any groan, any sound. Okay, so he smiled with pride because he thought he killed Vijay Singh. That was really, really foolish. However, just to make doubly sure, he struck the blaster 6 times more. And now again he just beat 6 times, that is a stout club. Satisfied with his work, now he just relaxed because he killed his enemy, and he was very happy. So he was extremely happy because he felt insulted in the haunted desert, because many times that Vijay Singh insulted him. So as you have seen. So children, here he was satisfied. He was just relaxed with his work. And he returned to his couch. Again he just returned to his own bed. And covering his head, settled down to sleep again. Now again he was just settled down himself to sleep again. Now meanwhile, in between, what happened? Vijay Singh crept slightly back into the bed. Again he moved to his bed very slightly. After a pause, he groaned as if in disgust, threw back his coverlet and sat up. Now here, after this, he was not just planned for any nonsense over there. He just go and he saved his life after all. And then he realized that something which was going wrong. That is why because he was full of boast, as we have heard about him. So he just stood up and sat on the bed. And disturbed by the noise, the ghost peeped from under his bedclothes to see a strong man stretching his arm above his head and yawning. Now here the ghost was disturbed by the noise. Now he felt relaxed and he thought that it was over, Vijay Singh dead. Now here again the noise was there. The ghost peeped from under his bedclothes to see the strong man stretching his arm above his head and yawning. And what he saw? The ghost just peeped from his coverlet and he saw that person, the strong person, was sat on his bed and yawning. For a moment the ghost turned rigid with his shock. He was shocked that what happened? I killed that person. And what happened after that? He stood up. It's a strange thing. Now children, for a moment the ghost turned rigid with shock. Friend ghost, there are insects in your cave, said Vijay Singh in the complaining voice. Now here, Vijay Singh said, "Oh my friend ghost, in your cave there is so many insects. They were disturbing through all the night." So, in the complaining voice, he was complaining to the ghost. "Here I was enjoying the sweetest sleep I have had in years, and there comes this insect to trouble me. I distinctly counted 7 flappings of annoying." So he said that I was sleeping so soundly, but there's 7 flapping on my coverlet. That was insect. Again he just his statement, which is a statement full of insult of that ghost. So now, of course, it has not bitten me, but it's most annoying. It was very slow. It was not like mosquitoes roaming and humming over there, just like that, but it was so disturbing for me. And I awoke in the night, so that was not very good sleep. So what happened? The ghost panicked. Now he was just terrified. Panicked with terrified. Now I'm going to write panicked. Terrified. So he was panicked. Why he was panicked? Because he thought he killed Vijay Singh. But here what he saw? He saw that he was alive and sitting on the bed, and he was complaining that some insect was disturbing him. And he said that 7 flaps on my coverlet. So that was disturbing me. So he was in panic. He was so disturbed, so terrified. Those 7 blows would have reduced any other man to pulp. There is no safety near a formidable wrestler like this. He thought and fled from the cave, leaving behind all his ill-gotten wealth. Now here, children, after watching this, you can see this surprise moment that person is really strong. Ghost thought that person is really strong because he was beaten with the very stout club 7 times on his head and on his body. So how he survived? That was really amazing. That was really surprising for me. And he was terrified. That he said that I am not a mighty one. He is there. Now I don't want to stay over here because it was dangerous for me. So that is why he decided to move or fled away. It means he just flew away from that place and left all his ill-gotten. It means wherever he just you can collected these type of the items, so he just flew away from the land and left these all ill-gotten wealth. It took several camels from the village to remove the property Vijay Singh had acquired. Now children, the day was there and the day of victory, because that ghost which was continuously terrifying the people, those who are living near the Jaisalmer. So that was the time that victory was there and Vijay Singh won that battle. And because of that battle, he got many, you can say very, very precious item which ever the ghost left. So children, with this note, I would like to conclude my class. We will study, few paragraph is left, so we will study tomorrow and we will solve question and answers of this chapter, a strange wrestling match. So we will do these things tomorrow, children. So children, we will meet again. Read this story, because this story teaches you a very wonderful message, that is, you have to be very clever and cautious always. Not clever in the other way, but I am telling you that your cleverness is not shrewdness, but it should be. You cautious your work, you cautious about your thinking, you cautious about your decision making. That decision making is very important. So now here this chapter teaches us. So now children, we will meet again. Till then, bye-bye and take care.